Hello. Sheesh. Am I late? 3 minutes. 3 minutes late, as usual. What's new, right? Like, Steph, you late. What's new? Not a goddamn thing. Okay, 1 second, y'all. Let me. My hair's looking kind of. My hair's always looking kind of something. My hair's always looking kind of something. It's looking kind of. I don't know what it's looking, but it's wet. What y'all doing today? Let's see who's all in here. Hello, everyone. 1 second. Yes, I'm on my backup page on TikTok only because my main page got mass reported, so it's blocked for a week. And I have a strong inclination about who's doing it. I have a strong inclination about who's doing it because at first I thought it was just quite random. But oh man, I got knots for days in my hair, which I won't be picking out on live camera. But I got a strong inclination about who's doing it. Crazy. I just can't get what they be saying? Just let me be. Just let me be. Okay? Just let me be. We nosy bystanders don't be in here bothering y'all. Let me be. All right? But that's all right. Hello everyone. So let me see who's all up in here. I just see all these rooms filling up. So I'm here on TikTok, YouTube, Voices app. Let me check the Voices app message because I know the comment section always going crazy. What is going on? What's the backup? Stephanie Hall 1. That's the backup. Telling my business. My bad, bougie. My bad. I ain't trying to tell nobody's business, but honey, if your business come up, we talk about it. We just gonna talk about it. Okay. So let me see. So yesterday we had a great show. We had Brenda. Brenda, wherever you at, you was telling all the tea. We got everybody here on YouTube. Who we got on YouTube? Apartment Wife. Love the name. What's up, Boo Child? Rachel, Candy, Crystal, Rowe, VT Nails. Is that Vermont? Is that Virginia? I don't know what it is. It's Vermont or Virginia, but hello. Delightful. And then who do we have here? What's up, Max? What's up, Dream Dancer? Hello, Lisa. So we got everybody. Everybody's in here, y'all. We're gonna have a crazy live show today because we're talking about a whole lot of mess, honey. Not our mess, but everybody else's. So the first thing I have here, let me pull up my list because I make a checklist. Like Santa Claus, I try to make a list and check it twice and whatever else I'm trying to do, honey. Okay, so I got a checklist of what we're going to be discussing today. It's gonna be dense. Okay, it's gonna be a dense show. And then let me just check here on the voices because I know y'all like to throw your hands up. Sometimes y'all like to come up here and be my co-host. Every day I need a co-host. I don't know if I told y'all this, but every day I need a co-host because I just can't do it by myself. I just can't do it alone. I'll be always needing help. Okay. So having a co-host is nice. The only way you can co-host is either on the Voices app. So if you haven't already downloaded it, go ahead and just download the Voices app. Okay. And then just smash likes anywhere you see them. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about Todd Chrisley. Now I know we started off the show crazy with Todd Chrisley, but because Todd Chrisley is a hot mess, is he not? Is he and his family just not doing hot mess shit all over the place? Or is that just me? Now, again, I wasn't familiar that the Chrisley family was super hot and popular in the Black community, but apparently y'all love them. Hi, Dr. Diaz. Hello, Danielle. Itinerary on deck. That's right. Itinerary always got to be on deck, or we're just gonna get off track, and we always get off track. But this time we're gonna not be off track, and we're gonna be on track. So let me pull up the pop culture article because we were reading that yesterday about Todd Chrisley. I know, honey, the article was good. The article was sending me because Todd Chrisley out here threatening to disseminate his daughter's sex tapes. Come on, we can't have that. We cannot have that. We cannot have that. That's messy. Is it not messy? Is it not messy? Hello, Shonda. How you doing? Thank you for catching a live from Texas. Is that not messy threatening your daughter with that? So I'm gonna kind of pivot a little bit so I can read where we left off, because my screen is not big enough for all that I got going on. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so we left off and we were reading about the deposition that Todd Chrisley, Lindsay Chrisley did in support of her father. Okay, so she did a deposition in support of her father because she didn't want to admit that she was sleeping with the IRS agent who she turned state's evidence on. Here on TikTok, make sure you like this live. Okay, what's up, Nico? So let's go back. And we're going to be reading about the rest of this and how basically Todd Chrisley and his wife ended up in this situation. According to Todd Chrisley and his wife, they ended up in this situation because his daughter was sleeping with an IRS agent and turned him into the IRS. Listen, I don't know what y'all be doing at y'all barbecues. It's not turning our families into state's evidence, okay? I don't know what y'all be doing at barbecues, but it's most certainly not turning your family in as state's evidence. Okay. Now, I don't know how the Chrisleys get down. Yes, his oldest daughter, Kiss My Chrissy, his oldest daughter. So I don't know how y'all be getting down, but over here, we get down with not turning our family in as state's evidence. Okay. So let me finish reading the article. Pull up. And then let me just make sure I don't got no hands up. Okay. So here we are. It says on June 19th, Chrisley gave a deposition to Todd Chrisley's lawyers on her own volition. The statement continued. The deposition was on June 8th of 2019, and in her interview, which aired on Dr. Phil, she stated that she was threatened and coerced on June 7th. So 2 days before, or 1 day before she was to give that deposition, she stated to Dr. Phil that she was threatened by her father, which was literally the day before the deposition, where she voluntarily explained involvement with the IRS agent. In addition, after the deposition, she willingly handed over a multitude of text messages which spanned 18-month period between her and the IRS agent. They had some sort of torrid love affair, honey. Todd and Lindsay also provided screenshots allegedly showing Lindsay texting the IRS agent, claiming they showed that she was a willing participant and providing the IRS agent with information. So basically, Todd Chrisley is saying he got into this because of his daughter. But Todd, you still weren't paying your taxes. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? We're not perfect, but regardless of if your daughter turned you in or not, you still wasn't paying them taxes, honey. You got to pay the taxes, Todd. You have got to pay the taxes, okay? That's just all is fair in love and war, if you will, right? And his daughter fought some of the best fire. I mean, if we're going to be realistic and take a break from reading this article for a second, his daughter was playing his game. Was she not? Was she not? Someone smash the like button to let me know. Was she not playing Todd Chrisley's game? Like, she despised her father. She probably knew that her father had her sex tape and her nude pictures. So she went ahead and got into a relationship with an IRS agent, seeked him out. God only knows how you find an IRS agent, honey. But she found her IRS agent, built up a relationship with him for 18 months. That's a long game. Is that not one of the longest games that you will play? Or am I crazy? Build a relationship with this IRS agent for 18 months. Go out to dinner, go out to dates, spend the night at his house. He spends the night at your house. Text messages, all kinds of stuff. And then while you're laying in bed with some pillow talk, you're like, babe, I love you so much. My daddy ain't paying his taxes. Got your man like, what? Yo, daddy ain't paying his taxes. Okay, baby, roll over and snuggle me. You know, as an IRS agent, you have an ethical duty to investigate because you take an oath like you do at any position for the federal government. There's an oath that is to be had. What's up, She Will Flourish? I'm just saying. Do you know do you know how evil you have to be to do something like that? Listen, Todd Chrisley raised the best, honey. He didn't raise the good ones. He didn't raise the good ones. He didn't raise the good ones, honey. He raised her right. He raised her like he is. Is he not? Is he not? Does he? Did he not? You know what I mean? Did he not raise his daughter how he would want it? You understand what I mean? Does that make sense? Did he not raise his daughter how he is? If you got your daughter's sex tape, what makes you think your daughter don't know how to fight dirty? Just a thought. Maybe don't teach her your ways. Maybe don't teach her your ways. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm going to put this in here. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm going to pin in YouTube. I'm going to pin a comment. It is for the Voices app. If you want to go over here, it's live, it's interactive, and if you want to get on stage, and I'm gonna pin the comment to the top. If you want to get on stage and be a co-host for any number of reasons, you can just click that link there. It'll take you to the Voices app, and you can be a co-host. Okay, because we love to hear from the co-host because y'all are just as messy as me. So let me finish this article because I don't want to make this too long and lengthy. Okay. She at the time she wasn't married. This is 2019. This was, if she was married, then she was having an affair. Okay, so let me finish up this article because I want to move on to Shantae's husband, child. Shantae. You're like, it's Shaunie Oneil. Shantae is what we call her over here, honey. We don't need to be calling her flock to come and mass report us. Okay. So it's Shantae. Okay. Let me finish reading the Chrisley's article and I'm going to pull up the Shantae's story. Does that make sense? Okay. So it states here, when contacted about the deposition, we filed an action against the state investigators. This is what the Chrisley said. Once they found out their daughter was in a relationship with the IRS agent, who in turn created the investigation into the Chrisleys, they filed action against this investigator because then they found out, hey, he's the one investigating us, and he also is dating our daughter. Involved in, they said it was illegal conduct with their daughter, who was a witness. We have a lengthy sworn deposition from Lindsay, and it shall be used appropriately in court of law at the appropriate time. This is from the Chrisleys. Lindsay's attorney previously told Entertainment Tonight that she was not the source of the information that led to her parents being indicted. Lindsay also filed a police report in Georgia accusing her father of trying to extort her with her own sex tape. Todd Chrisley accused Lindsay of having an affair with the IRS agent, and she also had an affair with Josh Murphy, who happens to be one of the bachelors from the TV show The Bachelor. Todd and Julie have already settled, again, a $2 million state tax evasion in the state of Georgia for $77,000. Talk about a deal, honey. And that's the end of that article. Now, the Chrisleys, look, I don't know what much to say about her. Okay, I don't know much to say about what they get themselves into, but they a mess, honey. They a mess. Them Chrisleys, honey, they are a mess. So, Trey, I went ahead and sent you a request to join live. So just go ahead and click on it at any time, okay? And then make sure your microphone's off. Well, and you can talk while I pull up the next article because we're going to talk about Shaunie Oneil's husband and the allegations behind that. Again, all this is alleged. Okay. What's up, Trey?
What's up?
How you doing?
Okay, so first off, happy Pride Month to everybody except Todd Chrisley.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. But yeah, that he always been suspect to me. Like not even in that way, but basically he's been like always been kind of like a sketchy individual.
Who? Todd Chrisley?
Remember when he had that show back in USA and stuff like that? Everybody was watching it. Well, everybody that's not melanated was watching it. I got a glance at it.
What show? What show is that? What's up, Eamon? What show is...
Chrisley Knows Best.
Oh, yeah,
That's what the show is called. Yeah.
I used to love that show.
That show was so messy.
They a hot mess.
My bad.
They are a hot mess.
The son was messy too.
No, I never watched the show. I never watched Chrisley's Knows Best. I didn't know nothing about them till the taxes came out. Actually, again, I told you guys I didn't know anything about the Chrisleys until that lady, Katie Joy Ann, Without a Crystal Ball. She's another gossip commentator here on YouTube, and she was talking to she has a friendship with Lindsay Chrisley, and she was the one who was dropping all the tea. So Todd Chrisley sued Without a Crystal Ball. I don't really know where that case is going, nor do I care, but that's how I found out about the Chrisleys. I didn't even know. Yeah, see these
Lioness, the grandma was a mess though. The grandma was the best part of that daggone show.
Was she?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up the next article. No, again, I don't know nothing about the Chrisleys or the show, which is why I don't speak about any of the context of the show, because again, no idea what it is they discussed.
The story behind that mixed granddaughter.
They had a mixed granddaughter.
That story's nasty.
Oh,
where did it? Somebody sent me something. Hold on, let me check Instagram.
Well, I was gonna say, did you hear about Britney Spears?
What about Britney?
Ooh. Okay, so basically, Britney Spears' ex-husband, the first one she married for like not even a whole week. Alex? He crashed her wedding. Yeah, Jason.
He crashed her current. He crashed her current wedding.
Her current wedding. Yes, and he put it on live.
I didn't know she was getting married.
He was wilding out. He literally broke into her house looking for her.
Oh, wow.
Saying, I'm Jason Alexander. I'm Britney's first husband. I'm first husband. She's my only wife. My first wife. My only wife. Breaking in her crib.
Oh, that sounds like a hot
on
mess.
Live.
I didn't see that. No, trust me, because if I seen it, I'd have played it. Because I love Britney Spears. Oh wow. So shout out to Britney Spears. Stay safe, girl. They really after you, honey. So I want to move on to this next story because I think this is somewhat interesting. Someone sent it to me here on Instagram, which is the Nosy Bystanders, if you don't already know. So somebody sent me an article from Obnoxious Television. So Nosy Bystander sent me this. Someone stated that Shantae's husband was divorced, obviously, because he couldn't get married twice. He was divorced. And he also, prior to his first divorce, while he was in the middle of dating, he was in a relationship. He got himself into another relationship, but this time with a fella. And there's nothing wrong with that. So the article, I'm going to just read the article. We're just going to just take it with a grain of salt. Again, all of this is alleged. It says, Houston, we have a problem. I think his name is Keon Henderson. Alleged sex tape revealed nude photos of the pastor's lighthouse plus earnest. Ooh, I'm not even going to read that. Ew. So I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to copy it. Ooh, child. It said something about a plug. I'm going to copy and paste the article here in,
it's the article here in,
1 second. Oh, something is echoing. Can one of you here on the Voices app mute yourself? Thank you. Yes, perfect. So if you're not going to speak, I just need you to mute yourself because I can hear an echo. Okay, so
somebody playing it through the TV or their phone.
Yeah, someone's watching it. Someone's watching me on another device and it's giving an echo. So I think it's Tracie. I'm gonna mute you, Tracie. Yes, Tracie.
I muted myself a long time ago.
Okay, so perfect. So let me go ahead and copy and paste this article here. And that way you guys on the Voices app can read it while I read it aloud. I can't copy and paste it here in YouTube. It's too much to copy and paste. So let me start to read the article because, honey, is something else, honey. Okay, so oh, come on now. He's a handsome man. Okay. So it says everything going down, but the word of God. The article starts off with Everything is going down but the word of God. Kerryon Henderson has been the subject of a number of conversations here on the Obnoxious Media. Now, I've never heard of Obnoxious Media, but they might be just like the Nosy Bystanders media. So it could be the same thing. But nothing has ever been ever solid to move forward on a story, and he was such a dangerous liar. He told a bishop that called and tried to get us not to move on the story about him that we asked for money to keep quiet. So he's alleging, Kerryon is alleging that Obnoxious Media tried to extort him to not share the story. He told a bishop, I'm sorry, the story goes on and says, he told a bishop that called to try and get us to move on to the story about him that we asked them for money to be quiet. Well, now that we have a nude photo taken as a screenshot of a sex tape, unfortunately, we just preach at the Church of God in Christ. COGIC, is that where he's from? I need a nosy bystander to chime in. Now, 2 days ago, we talked about COGIC, that delivered church, like those people who always seem to get delivered. Is this where her husband used to preach at? Because that church has a really terrible problem of trying to pray the gay away, which again, being gay is from birth. That's not something you could just pray away. But
wait a minute, is that the dude at the church? That dude that said, "I was delivered"?
Yes. Andrew Caldwell.
Andrew Caldwell. I mean, I don't think he's delivered, but
obviously he's not delivered.
But
he
needs to walk in his truth.
But the thing about it is that church is notorious for those gay to straight sermons. And if Kerryon is a part of these, was formerly a part of this church, maybe he was one of those ones who got delivered. But let me finish reading the article.
Are you talking about Kerryon, like as in like Kirk Franklin's Kerryon?
No, I think that's how you pronounce his name. This is Shaunie Oneil's new husband. So it says COGIC has enough trash on their own to have to reach outside of the, I don't know what word that is, and have a man preach on their national platform with a sex tape floating around the country, and perhaps better vetting of speakers to necessarily whoever wrote this is not a writer, and they should have never wrote an article. Speakers is necessary to keep from having further embarrassment brought to the organization. The so-called son of the Jakes first started there mentioned when he fired Ernest Pugh, who he was rumored to have been going with until they discovered that he was a cheater. He was cheating on his wife. He was cheating on his wife. According to Kerryon, again, this is Shantae O'Neill's husband. He fired Ernest due to his undermining his leadership and establishing a mini church within the church. Now, this is a long story with a few twists and turns. And like mindseted people roll together, so saying goes. I don't know who wrote this, but this person needs to take an English course. It seems that Ernest Pugh was the minister of music at Lighthouse under Kerryon, discovered he was being cheated on with another man. That was the organist by the name of Justin Edwards. The rumor has it that Ernest and Justin lived together in a high-rise condo for a few years. And now what we do know is that Kerryon had Ernest Pugh on a gag order to not discuss the details of his being fired for the amount of money that he had owed to Lighthouse, which is the mini church. Wow. Could you imagine being powerful and gay and in the closet at the same time? It must be a nightmare. It has got to be a nightmare. Now, I don't know if any of this is true, but the way that Obnoxious Media is writing it, they seem like they know a little bit more than the rest of us, honey. And so we can only take this with a grain of salt. Peanut Gallery, do you have any? Peanut Gallery co-host, do you have any?
Tea is smoking hot. I ain't gonna lie. It's smoking hot over there.
Yeah.
Hey, close that door for the mosquitoes coming here.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm about to call the goddamn fire department. Goddamn.
Wow, that is something
I
else. Let me get
swear.
Dr. Diaz on the stage. Dr. Diaz, I went ahead and sent you a request. Go ahead and click accept and make sure your microphone's on, child. Whew. Is it me or is the live glitchy? It's not. It's
I'm here.
Keon, not Carry On. Y'all know I can't pronounce these unusual names, even though he has a beautiful name. I can't pronounce it. Hello, Dr. Diaz. Hello. Did you have any?
Too.
Did you want to chime in on this story about
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a scandal. Unbelievable. So clearly we know that in the African American community, certainly the Latino community, and there's a lot of homophobia. This is why that church, sort of had their little specialty in the whole pray away the gay thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't stop people from doing what they were interested in doing. So these people were all sleeping with each other. There's scandals left and right.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people paying hush money to shut people up.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Praying away the gay doesn't even work.
It doesn't.
And that's a scandal for them too, because I'm sure they were getting, donations and stuff. Oh, take care of my son, make him straight, here's some money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an enterprise.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And
it's like another scam if you really think about it, right? Like people who scam you when they try to sell you those terrible MLM products. It's the same way. Religion right now is just a scam, even for the most religious people, right? Like even the most religious people get sucked into this garbage because they don't know who to trust. And people are like, well, it's easier just to get church folks to give me money than anything else. So might as well just, and now you got non-disclosure agreements, gag orders, gay couples shackling up in, $1 million condos, which they should, but they shouldn't have to hide it.
But we ain't gonna call Andrew Caldwell a success story either, though.
You said what?
We ain't gonna call Andrew Caldwell one of their success stories either, because
is that what they call him a success story?
That's what they want him to be, but he's not.
Because he's on one of the new Bad Boys shows on Zeus Network.
Get out of here! Is he?
No, I know.
They still ain't figured out there yet.
He was supposed to audition for one of the shows, but they said he didn't have enough money because he was on the Shade Room. Because he was on the Shade Room trying to shade this guy named Milan Christopher, talking about he didn't have enough money to have his own show.
Ooh, why would you need money to start your own show?
Because he was talking about. Have you seen the Bad Boys Club?
No. And I don't want to. I feel like it ain't gonna be nothing but a bunch of fist fighting.
Oh, that's all it was, because they, put it this way, it was messy.
Was it messy?
But it was messy. But that's where Andrew Caldwell had kind of chimed in. But Andrew Caldwell he's still in the closet, but he's trying to put on this front that he likes women too, that he's, bisexual.
Got you. Oh, that's okay. He can be both. He can be anything he wants to be, but don't lie to people in order to siphon money out of them, about your sexuality. Yeah, don't do that. That's just.
I mean, you could be fabulous too, but don't give us the impression that you're
heterosexual.
You're not flying that flag as well.
Right. Not the flag flying, honey. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just be you, okay? And trust me, your gayness or your likeness to gayness doesn't have to it's so sad. I don't know, because I'm not in the closet, so I don't know what kind of struggle that is, especially if you come from a traditionally Catholic, Christian, Presbyterian, Baptist family. So I don't really know what that struggle would be like, but it must be incredibly tough. It's got to be incredibly tough. So let me answer some of the questions here on TikTok, because these questions are going. You guys have been on. I come on here every night at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Usually I come on my main account, but my main account has been banned again. So we're going to be here on my backup. I just got my backup back 2 days ago. So every night at 6:30, YouTube, you guys already know. Y'all know, y'all always in the building. And Voices, y'all in the building. Y'all already know. 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Here on this backup, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. So I'm always here. This is where I'm at. Okay. And all we do is just talk about celebrity gossip and news. That's really it. Okay. So, Shaunie, Shantae, Shanice, whatever your name is, ma'am, come get your husband. Let's just be come get your husband, honey.
Come get your mans.
Come get your mans, because that whole, y'all just stop it. This whole, you know what, and let me just give my 2 cents before we move on to the next story, honey, because I want to get to Tracie Ellis Ross being a home wrecker. Okay. But let me just add my 2 cents on this Shantae.
Not my boo.
Yes, my boo thing. Okay. This story. Stop trying to have this Southern Belle cookie cutter. No, I don't have any more updates on Cora. Southern Belle cookie cutter life. You know what I mean? Where you got to marry a Black man who's a pastor who leads a congregation of 250,000 people. Give it a rest. Those men do not exist. And when they did exist, they're already dead. Okay. You need to get off of this high horse of, I need to marry me a Presbyterian Black pastor who runs a 250,000 person congregation. Just stop. Just marry whoever.
Ain't around no more, and them churches is dead.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Those churches are long gone. Just marry someone. Go marry someone in tech. Go marry someone in the NFL. Go marry someone, who runs a software company. Go marry someone who's the, manager or the, high, executive for a company like Cintas or something of that nature. Stop this whole notion that you got to marry a pastor or you don't look holier than thou. You can still marry any man you want to marry, and he can still have a devout faith in something. Because this shit is getting sick at this point. Because I'm so tired of hearing these stories about this pastor is gay and that pastor's gay and this pastor has a sex tape and that pastor has a sex. Just give it a rest, girl, and go marry somebody else. You don't got to marry a pastor or just
stay away from these youth group leaders. Oh my God.
It's just not even that. It's just I know, but
baby touching the babies.
Okay, but hold on before y'all get hold on one second before y'all get on a rant. I just wanted to just close that out. Like I just wanted to have my final thoughts because I'm sick of that shit already. Like give it a rest.
Stephanie, I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
This guy is actually TD Jake's son?
No, I think they just call him like a son in Christ. Like he raised him and they taught him and of that nature.
Something like that.
Whatever. Okay. It's a mess.
So the stuff that you're describing is really something called reaction formation. It's when you kind of like, and it is why a lot of gay men and women go into the clergy.
Uh-huh.
They do like an opposite extreme kind of reaction. It's an extreme kind of reaction to their own drive.
Mm-hmm.
So in the sense that people that are homosexual might be, want to just do the extreme opposite thing.
Yeah.
Sadly, it doesn't work. It's a defense mechanism. And many times it doesn't help because you haven't really resolved the inner conflict.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the motivation behind that. And that's why a lot of people do go into the clergy and they're trying to repress like their own kinds of desires, and they'll do everything. They'll do anything. They'll get married. They'll have kids. I know many people that, do what, and we all know many people that will live a completely opposite life to what they really, really desire to do.
Yeah. No,
and so that's why you see a lot of this in like leadership in clergy.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I totally agree with you. I'm just sick of seeing it. I know it exists. I know why it occurs. I'm just sick of seeing it. What's up, Dee Dee? What's up, Quinn? Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Likewise.
So moving on to the next story. I'm just kind of tired of done talking about that. I'm sick of these closeted people hiding and then bastardizing whatever it is they're trying to bastard. Just be yourself. And they have all the money. That's the part that drives me even more crazy. They be the richest people on the planet. Y'all be having the most money, all the wealth. You can do whatever you want to do. You can shut off your phones. You can get a new number. You can cut off your family. You can financially literally cut your entire family off, never see them again, and just go live your best life. And then still they postulate this sort of image, and I don't quite get it. So I want to move on to the Tracie Ellis Ross story, because Ricky Smiley morning show broke it in early yesterday, and someone came into the Nosy Bystanders and they wanted to talk about it, and I do too, because I'm tired of talking about Carry On and Shantae, however you pronounce either of their names. Okay, so Ricky Smiley wrote an article, and we're going to go through it, and we're just going to go through it step by step, because they got the tea. They got the tea. Yeah, I'll put the
we can follow along.
Yeah, I'll put the article in the chat, and then you guys can follow along. Sorry, I can't do it for YouTube. They have a character restriction, so I can't do it. I'm sorry. That's my boo thing. I love Tracie Ellis Ross. So here on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, the article is titled "Ricky Smiley Morning Show discusses Tracie Ellis Ross accusations of being a homewrecker." The Ricky Smiley Morning Show discussed Tracie Ellis Ross accusations of being a homewrecker. It is reported that Kenya Barris. Now, remember, if I just found out that Kenya Barris is the creator of the TV show Blackish and Grownish. I think those two. Is filing for divorce from his wife, Raina, or Rainbow. The couple has been married for 20 years and shares 6 children. Gary with the T, y'all know Gary with the T, said Blackish creator filed for divorce in Los Angeles Superior Court June 1st, citing irreconcilable differences. The couple who share 6 children has been separated since September of 2020. In addition to their joint and legal custody of their children. Now, first of all, I thought Kenya Barris was older. How your kids still need custody agreements? Because men will be 95 years old with 6-month-old babies. Okay, so in addition to joint and legal custody of their children, Kenya Barris indicated that he would also pay spousal support. Now, this is a well-written article. Now, whoever wrote that article over there on Obnoxious Media needs to have a seat. Gary said it was good that Kenya wants to pay spousal support to his wife because most men fight paying that. Raina is a doctor, but she still needs spousal support, says Gary. Well, we don't know that, Gary. That is, and I just wanted to time out on this article. That is an assumption from Gary with a T, not Gary, who's the financial advisor. Okay. Okay. That's just Gary with the T's assumption. That's not a Los Angeles doctor's financial advisor's assumption. Okay, that's just Gary with the T. Okay, so I don't know if I agree with that.
Is that the source? Gary with the T is the source.
Well, apparently, because so anything that's filed in the superior courts, which is federal, you can get that information from pace.gov. You just pay for it annually. So he probably got the divorce decree, but he more than likely did not get any of their financial information, because if you just got the divorce decree, the financials don't get submitted till after the fact. And so that's just Gary. Yes, Dr. Diaz, that is just Gary with the T's assumption, okay? On what
Gary
is messy. Well, they should pay the spousal support. How do you know, Gary? Okay, moving on. Allegedly, Kenya and Tracie Ellis Ross were having an affair. Now, this is according to Gary with the T, so this is all alleged. Gary said Rainbow, Kenya Barris's wife, was not standing for it at all. However, Gary said he does not believe that Ross would engage in a relationship with a married man. Gary, that's your opinion. How do you know what Tracie Ellis Ross doing? How do you know
Can
that?
we get in touch with Gary?
How do we know?
Nosy Bystander.
Yeah. I just don't believe that Tracie Ellis Ross would just do it with a married man. How you know that, Gary? How do you know what Tracie Ellis Ross is doing in her $2, $3, $4, $8 million condo as a single woman with no children? How do you know that, Gary? You don't know that, Gary. Be quiet. But we're going to read his article anyway. I feel like Gary wrote this motherfucking article. Moving on.
She has Diana Ross money.
Yeah, but she also has been working her whole life too. So not only do you got your mom's money, but you have your own money. You understand what I mean? Right. Good money. Okay, so allegedly, okay, we read that part, right? So Kenya, Tracie Ellis Ross, but Gary doesn't believe that Tracie would do that. Perhaps the couple is just ready to part ways, argues Maria Moore. I don't know who Maria Moore, but she might be another co-host on what's it called? She might be another co-host on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. According to Maria Moore, they've been married for 20 years and they have not been without their issues. And maybe they've just gotten to a place where they think it's the best thing for their relationship. She added that the couple has been on the brink of divorce before. Gary said they filed back in 2014. Now, do I believe that Tracie Ellis Ross is having an affair with Kenya Barris? Yes. I'm not stupid. She's a single woman. She can do whatever it is she wants to do. She doesn't have to take Gary with the T's advice. She doesn't have to take Gary with the T's advice. She can do what she wants to do. Should she be doing with a married man? No, she shouldn't. But again, those are only assumptions. I want to read some of your comments, and then I'm letting the peanut gallery, our co-host, chime in. So Chiquita Johnson says, living life. Yep. Margaret said, I don't believe it. And okay, and we don't have to. I most certainly don't know. There's no evidence to it. I can only believe what Gary with the T has said. Joe's Natural Oasis says, no, I don't believe it. Not my girl, Tracie. I know, y'all, we love Tracie. We do, but she's single. Maybe she's just tired of mingling. At that level, I imagine it gets really difficult to date. Right?
She too sexy. She could do what she wants.
No, but that's what I'm asking. When you have multi-million dollars, no children, all the assets, all the wealth, is it difficult to date? Or is Tracie a problem? Is she problematic?
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate a bit here. Because the dating pool, and trust me, I've been trying to date for the longest, it's basura. It's giving unkempt landfill, okay? Especially nowadays where everybody's just like swipe left, swipe right, all that type of shit. Nobody can hold a conversation. A lot of men, they expect all these things from women. Not all of them, but a lot of them, especially on these dating apps, expect so much from women. Meanwhile, they got holes in their drawers and socks.
Okay.
And with Tracie, she needs a certain type of man in her life. She can't have low caliber man. She can't have a man that's working a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. She needs a man that's on her level or higher.
But do you think that at that level it might be more difficult to find those kind of men?
Yes, because a lot of men from my experience, they see women as something to have more than something to have a partner. They rather have somebody that's subservient to them than having a partner. Some men.
Okay.
Because I know somebody's going to get hot at me in the comments. No, men. Okay, enough men. Let me say that. Enough men for me to believe this. For a lot of women to believe this. That they want women as something to own, something to have, more than having somebody that's a partner and y'all getting this money in this bag together.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean that.
But Tracie Ellis Ross is overly famous, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
she is.
Her name
it's intimidating.
Is everywhere, though. Like, you can't, like I say, her brothers, her whole family is overly famous. So it's like, you can't go somewhere and be like, oh, Tracie Ellis Ross, the Rosses, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Tracie's probably toxic. Let's just be realistic.
That is a possibility too. What's the name? What's the word I'm trying to say? Two things can be true at the same time.
I think she's probably toxic. And I love her. Don't get me wrong. I love Tracie Ellis Ross to death. But she's probably toxic.
Very talented. A lot of talented people are toxic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They don't. Yeah, it's part of the the insanity of being an artist. But it looks like this affair has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, 2020.
He's
apparently.
Back and forth. Yeah.
I never heard.
Yeah. So
the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Hey y'all, I'm late today.
That's right.
Was her mama? There
you go, Dr. Diaz. You know.
Was Diana Ross a side piece?
First of all, that first baby is Barry Gordy's, and Barry was married. They was hunching for a real long time. She tried to put that baby off on somebody else. She ain't low. Ooh. The mama nasty and the daughter nasty too. And there's nothing wrong with it because she got money. but close your legs to married men. That's what Nene said. That's what
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Start trying to open his legs.
Wait a
That's
minute.
true. That's true.
Trace, wait a minute. Diana Ross was a side piece? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I had to call my mama.
Married to a very pretty brown-skinned woman. And he had a couple kids with her. I don't think she was a singer or nothing like that. And then, here come Diana Ross with them doe eyes, looking all pretty, all slim and trim, and boom, there go the baby.
So Barry Gore. Oh, I didn't know. So who
and that big ass hair too.
So Tracie Ellis Ross is not the oldest. She has an older sibling.
I think the older one name is like Rhonda or something like that. She has like a very, they have like very like generic names. Yeah, her older sister, she's brown skin, got dreads. She looks nothing like the rest of them.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Wow. I didn't know. Taurus Season said, if I'm not mistaken, this ain't Tracy's first time messing with someone's man. What other time?
Ooh, who else? Who else? Who else she messed with?
Speak, Taurus Season. Let us know.
Speak up, lady.
Spill it.
Or sir? Or non-binary?
Yeah, we don't. Let us know. Dreamgirls was about them. Was Dreamgirls about the Supremes?
Yes, because he was so terrible to that lady. The other lady, I think she just passed away. The one with the big voice. It was about them.
I didn't know that Dream. I gotta go rewatch.
Dina was co-worker for Diana.
Child.
Yes.
This
because she was the prettiest, but she didn't sing the best. The other lady sung the best, but that time they wanted Black people to be soft and approachable.
Because Beyonce Beyonce really thought she was gonna get an Academy Award for her role in Dreamgirls. Beyonce was terrible actress. She should stop. I love Beyonce.
Are you ready? Here's Diana Ross's litany of lovers.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Smokey Robinson. Eddie Kendricks, singer. Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York.
Excuse me.
Whole behavior.
Berry Gordy. Richard Gere.
First of all, why does Dr. Diaz have Diana Ross whole facts report? That's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Where'd you find this at?
Not Michael Bloomberg, honey. Not Michael Bloomberg.
Is Mick Jagger on there? I have a feeling he's on there.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty?
Yep. Wow. Francesco Scavullo.
Well, I don't know who that is.
The artist.
He's an artist.
Yeah, artist, designer. Arthur Ashe, the tennis player.
No way.
I believe that.
Ryan Oneil, the actor. Gene Simmons from the rock group Kiss.
I can see that.
Wait.
I believe that.
The whole time, no. Wait a minute. What's that deal about?
Because she was this.
Arne.
No, I believe Gene Simmons. I believe the Gene Simmons one. I do.
Yeah. Arne Nass, who is, I think, the father of. Pretty sure that.
I want to go back to Michael Bloomberg because I understand.
Yeah, like facts. Like, where did that come from?
Okay, right. Because like I get the whole she's sleeping with other rock stars and actors and comedians. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. How did Diana Ross and Michael Bloomberg cross paths? I want to know this.
The tie is money, Stephanie. The tie is money. All of these people are billionaires and they have money.
But have you seen Michael Bloomberg he's really short and tiny. But I guess the money calls, I guess. Like wowzers.
I need to go with the name until I come across a name I like.
Yeah, wowzers. Wow. Then, so give us one more, Dr. Diaz, and we're gonna move on to this next story. Yeah.
John Voight, Angelina Jolie's father.
John Voight. What? I can see that. John Voight, he is handsome. He
was a handsome younger man when he was younger. He was very handsome.
Yeah, John Voight is fine. You know who I was waiting for the list? John Malkovich. I don't know why I was waiting for his name to show up.
I was waiting for Mick Jagger because Mick Jagger loves him some Black women.
Yeah, but I was just saying, where's John Malkovich? I actually met John Malkovich in Cleveland. He's a really nice guy. So Tracie Ellis Ross, yay or nay, we don't know. If she following in her mama's footsteps, then honey, have fun. I want to get on to this next story because we got a lot to go down this list. And now I'm going to pull it up Someone sent it to me. I don't know what is going on with this story, but you're going to have to give me like 2 seconds to Google it. Now, mind you, I should have been Googling it while we were talking about who was in Diana Ross's sheets, but I got caught up on Michael Bloomberg. Okay. So let me pull up the story. It's about Brandy Maxwell and Malaysia. If anybody knows who these, I know who Malaysia is. I guess this has something to do with Love and Hip Hop. Somebody asked me to pull up the story. I don't know what's going on, but we just gonna read it together as a team. If you watch Love and Hip Hop, you'll know the names. I know Malaysia because I used to watch Love and Hip Hop. Malaysia is one of the original cast members. I think she came in around season 2 or 3, so she is very, very much original to the show. And Brandy could be original, but she probably came in around seasons 10, 11, or 12. So I pulled up the first article. Yes.
What's Malaysia's first real name?
I don't know.
Remember?
I don't know.
Lakeisha.
Okay. I think she's from Crenshaw too. I believe she's from Crenshaw. So let's get into this story. I'll put a link in the
I thought you was Compton.
The Voices app, and then y'all can follow along. And then we're gonna just start reading it because I don't know what it is. Honestly, I have no idea why people wanted me to discuss it. So we're gonna discuss it, right? It's all is fair and other people's business. Okay, so the article is from Distractify. It says why are Brandy Maxwell and Malaysia Pargo from Basketball Wives feuding right now? So I guess people want to talk about the feud. This article is from May of 2022, so it's a relatively new feud. So let's figure it out. We don't watch Basketball Wives. I feel like that's for a younger generation. When I was younger, literally 10 years ago, I watched it. Don't watch it anymore because I'm middle-aged. So the article says Basketball Wives has been successfully running since 2010. See? Captivating reality TV lovers everywhere. The show is about a group of friends. I wouldn't now time out to the article because I would use that term extraordinarily loosely. Friends.
I would use it at all.
Friends. Where they do that at? Most certainly not on Basketball Wives. Okay, where they do that at? Not Basketball
Wives. We would say castmates. The stories will say castmates.
So, friends. Okay, girl, she must be new to the show. She got to be new to the show. So, you said, and Malaysia stumped Gloria Govan as she should have, because I never liked Gloria. I didn't like Gloria or her raggedy sister. So, remember, Gloria Govan is the one who broke up, which doesn't make much sense to me. But if you don't know who she is, Google her. Her name is Gloria Govan, Govan. She was the alleged mistress who broke up Shaunie Oneil and Shaquille O'Neal's marriage.
I can't stand her.
For some strange reason, Shaunie Oneil thought it was a bright idea to have that woman on her show. And as suspected, she didn't last longer than 2 seasons.
Shaunie got money off that ass.
But the thing about it is that, yeah, she got money off of it, right?
I mean, she tried to fight her on that show, too.
Shaunie tried to fight her?
No, not Shaunie. Somebody else tried to fight her.
Malaysia tried to.
Drea tried to fight her for Shaunie.
I never liked her, and I don't know why Shaunie would use her personal life as a way to make money. I think it's gross and gratuitous, if you ask me. But that's
it's giving me capitalism.
It is. But let me finish the article, you guys, before you chime in. Hold on 1 second. So it says the show is about a group of friends, and we're gonna again use that term loosely, who have one major thing in common. They're all either the wife, the current girlfriend, the ex-wife. No, honey, they're the mistress, and the mistress. I ain't never seen a wife on that show except for Jackie. Except for Jackie is the only one who has stayed married, which I don't understand how, but talk about wife.
Nah, but dead ass.
But for real, right? They never in my entire life have I ever seen any of them married except Jennifer too. Okay, it says the ladies on the show also share luxurious lifestyles. Again, we're going to use that term really loosely. For the most part, they've got beautiful homes, designer clothes, lavish jewelry, high-end vehicles, but even though their lives look completely glamorous from the outside, there's always a lot of trauma that's going on behind the doors. Case in point, there's currently a feud going on between Brandy and Malaysia. What exactly is happening? Well, let's dive in for the details. Here's an explanation of the Basketball Wives feud between Brandy and Malaysia. It turns out Malaysia isn't in the best place best places with most of the current cast members on Basketball Wives, though her feud with Brandy is currently the most dramatic at the moment. According to Urban Belle magazine, Brandy and Malaysia used to be close friends. However, these days, it's become quite obvious that their friendship has run its course. Back in the day, Brandy and Malaysia would stand up for each other in moments of need, but now mutual defense is something that's not likely to happen anytime soon. One of the scenes from Basketball Wives season 9, Brandy expresses her concern to Malaysia, saying that she wasn't comfortable with Malaysia telling people that they were on good terms when they weren't. You're telling people that we're good. That's where I have the problem, she said. I no longer need anyone in my life that's not really there for me. Now, this person, albeit this is a beautifully well-written article, tell us why these two bitches fighting, because at this point we don't care and we would like to move on to the next story. But I'm gonna continue reading. Brandy makes it clear that she doesn't want the world to believe that things are rainbows, butterflies, and sunshine when she and Malaysia don't have the tight-knit friendship that they used to have. She also doesn't like Malaysia. She also doesn't like that Malaysia has been there for her as much as she needs her to be. I no longer need anyone in my life. Again, she reiterates that same stupid sentence. In a separate setting,
Article is open-ended.
It is so open-ended. In a separate setting, Malaysia told Jackie, I don't understand how Jackie is still on this show, honey. I don't understand. Whoever sent me this article, you should go to hell. Okay. Whichever nosy bystander sent me that article, you ought to go to hell at this point.
Not me.
What was that? What is that?
No.
What is that? What was that?
GHETT.
Child, moving along. Peanut Gallery co-host, do y'all have anything to say about this stupid story? Because it seems dumb. Make sure you like this live here on TikTok, YouTube, and the voice that like the live. Just smash that like button. I know I'm good at listening. I know y'all. I'm good for listening, but I need you to like this, okay?
The whole reality TV thing is it's just so contrived, and the fact that you could be on reality TV making all this money, and we talked about this, and then you don't pay your taxes, and you do, like, right out in the open, like, they really don't think that people are watching. Like, the whole thing is everything is so contrived, and then you do stupid things like not pay your taxes after you showing off your real estate and your cars and all this wealth, and then you're claiming $100,000 a year in income.
Yeah.
So it's just it's. But we are obviously these are highly rated shows, and people are continuing to watch them.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know if they're highly rated. I wouldn't go that far.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, a majority of the stuff is all rented. Like, everything, the houses are rented, the cars are rented, everything is for a photo op. So basically, if you go there and take a picture, you always see it all the time. People literally pulling up the car dealerships and posing with pictures of the cars like they just got the car.
Yeah.
For clout and for views. That's all it is. It's all about the perception of wealth rather than actually obtaining it. Because actually obtaining wealth takes work. And a lot of people, I don't want to sound like the culture vulture, but a lot of people don't want to do the value of work. They want to come up without the coming up.
Yeah,
because sometimes they're only making $5,000 to $6,000 a show, and I may be underrating that, but they're not making, unless they're in like their 8th or 9th season of a show, they're only making like $5,000 to $6,000 show. Like the 1,000 Pound Sisters, they're only making like $7,000 to $8,000.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that these people having to maintain this luxurious lifestyle are. Listen, those shows run for 13 episodes a season. If you even do the simple math, $5,000 times 13 is a lot of money. But they're trying to maintain, like, according to what you said, co-host, they're trying to maintain this very high-end lifestyle. Well, it could cost you $10,000 to rent a Ferrari for a day. You know what I mean? And so that's 2 episodes, and that money is gone. And that's only a 1-day rental for a vehicle. So even though they're making that is a lot of money, and it's very good money. They're burning through it faster than they can get it. So that's what keeps them on these shows, because when you're getting, when you're working a TV show that's only 13 episodes and you're getting $5,000 an episode, you can't go back to a 9 to 5. You'll never see money like that again. I mean, I'm just going to pull up my calculator and just do a little bit of simple math, but you'll never be able to make money like that again. Here, let me see. That's $65,000 in less than 6 months. That's a lot of money.
That's why, like, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that's why they were making fun of Sheree, because they were talking about how broke she was, because, like, they said that she never finished Chateau Sheree because the house would never finish getting built.
Yeah.
Right.
Because every time she would go over there, they would like, so how come they finished putting brick down? Like, where's the rest of the house?
Do you think that's why they sell their souls, Quinn? Quinn said in the comments, that's why they sell their souls. You're probably correct. Living beyond their means. Woo Child said, "What's up, Woo Child? How's the cruise? Are you drunk?" Woo Child is a moderator.
Stephanie, can I chime in right quick?
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
I do believe that all of the stuff is rented as for, like TV wise.
Yeah.
But who's to say that like they're paying to rent this stuff themselves? Why wouldn't VH1 or Mona and them or Shaunie, you don't think it's possible that they could be paying to rent that stuff? They got way more money than the actual cast. So if it's, like paying to rent it, if they got way more money, they could be renting it for them to play with. You know what I mean?
Could be.
Well, they could have a production budget. Yeah.
But that's a budget, but pretty much it'll be a huge liability on the person who puts the money. And let me tell you one thing about rich folks. They do not like losing money.
Yeah.
So basically, they're not going to put themselves in any risk for them to lose money, especially for some people who just going to fight and break bottles and throw stuff. Like, come on. No, they're not going to put a liability on that. That's on the network.
Right. And so that's the same reason as to why Jennifer, the one we all love, I love Jennifer, the reason why Jennifer left the Basketball Wives the first time, because she stated, according to her, because if you watch any other reality show, you would always see Jennifer in the background when she would go to these events for her friends. Because again, a lot of these women from different shows, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of New York, on all different other reality shows, that is Jennifer's familial friend circuit. So I would always watch these other shows and kind of just see Jennifer in the background, just engaging in the events, but not talking directly to the camera, because again, that's her friend circle. She stated she left the show originally after the first 2 seasons is because they were trying to build beef with her and Evelyn, and she didn't want to be presented like that on television. And so that's why she left, because again, Jennifer has always, I think she owns a boutique in Miami, and I think that's where she makes the mass majority of her money. And so she's just like, I don't have to do that. Like, so for some people, the money is so enticing that they are willing to do anything to, I guess, stay on the show, right? Because that's how you stay on the show, by engaging in beef. Remember, Shaunie's the only one
having a storyline.
Exactly. Shaunie's the only one on Basketball Wives who doesn't actually have to have a storyline, who could still be a cast member. And then if you go back to some of the earlier seasons, Shaunie actually doesn't show up for a lot of seasons because, again, she doesn't have to. So I don't know. We'll see. I think that article is, again, the article was dumb. I don't really care why Brandy and Malaysia are beefing, but at the same time, though, I get an understanding of why Malaysia's on the show for so long. It's just kind of sad too, because it's just like people's image and their perception of wanting to be something that they're not. Like, they want to be rich and they're not. If you wanted to be super mega wealthy, you wouldn't be on a reality show for the better part of 12 years. Malaysia's been on that show for a long 12 years. That's not a job. It's I don't know.
A lot of them want to parlay it into something so they can use the exposure to get them, deals and, commercials and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Housewives of New York, the Real Housewives of New York, who I'm actually familiar with because I was actually on one of the shows for a charity that I was working with at the time.
Mm-mm.
They had some money. I would say that they had decent money. I know that Luann de Lesseps was actually married to a count. In the middle of it, they got divorced, and I guess she got child support for her kids, and she's a bit of a train wreck now. But
yeah.
They had money. We know Bethany Frankel ended up having a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of parlayed her skinny girl thing and sold it to one of the big companies, and that she's super loaded now.
Yeah.
The rest of them had some money. I wouldn't say that they're not. They just may not be as wealthy as they may present. As they pretend to be.
But the wealth perception is just toxic in and of itself. I mean, so that seemed like I guess the story was dumb, but the context of what we discussed there was teeth in it. So I want to move on to the next story because Malaysia Brandy makeup, we don't give a shit. We'll wait till Gary with the T has something to say. So the last story that we're going to talk about today is kind of like wrap up our show is someone sent me an article about they want to talk about Bill Cosby, and apparently he has a civil trial going on in the state of California. Someone is accusing him of assault from the 1970s. And so I'm going to read a little bit of the article and then I'll let you guys chime in. But let me get to some of your comments because I feel like I'm missing a lot. Who was talking and how? So we're here, Brown Beachy. We're here on the Voices app. So this is the Voices app that we use. So you can use the app. And then we have people who join in. There's a chat box where everyone just talks. It's a Nosy Bystander. It's live, and we can have up to 6 people on stage. And so everyone gets on stage if they feel like they want to be able to say something in case I'm not catching any of their comments. So that's who you're hearing, the co-host. Okay. Okay.
Keep the link in the chat, please.
Yes, I'll put the link in the chat. My bad. I always forget. Okay. Let me do that. And then we're going to just read a little bit of the article. And then this is just going to close out the show because always so much to talk about. We always got so much to talk about. Okay. So it says a California trial begins against Bill Cosby is underway. And the 84-year-old comedian is denying accusations that he sexually assaulted a teenager at the Playboy Mansion in the 1970s. That's a doozy. Even Hugh Hefner is too dead to figure out this story. So it says, according to Associated Press, on June 8th, a video testimony from October of 2015 was played for jurors. In the video, Bill Cosby denied exposing himself to Judith Huth, I think that's how you pronounce it, who was underage at the time. He said he never touched her. He never forced her to touch him. When asked if the incident happened, he forgot. Cosby said no. Why would that not be plausible? Huth's attorney questioned Cosby. Cosby stated, because the fact that this young lady is saying that, she told me she was 15. Additionally, Cosby denied any sexual relationship with girls who were underage and said he did not remember meeting Huth or her friend Donna Samuelson. What is the word? No. What is the word? No. That I know somebody. Ooh, that's kind of confusing. Cosby said in the October 2015 testimony, or that I met someone, or that while at Disneyland, I met 100 people and took pictures with them, or that while I'm at the airport, I'm sitting waiting to catch a plane and people come up and sit next to me, sit on me, put your arm around me, say hello, take a picture that later might show up somewhere, somehow, and that I know that person. No, sir. I think it makes sense. He added, it doesn't mean that they were with me or that I was even with them. So let's get into, let me scroll down to the portion of it because I want to be able to hear about these accusations. And I think the lady's name is Judith Huth? Judith Huth. Okay, so the Associated Press also reported Huth. Hold on one second. 1 second. The Associated Press also reported that Huth said in October of 2015 that the M word, I'm going to say assault, but it's the M word, occurred in 1973 or 1974 when she was 15. However, before the trial, an examination of the evidence showed that the alleged incident was in 1975 when Huth was 16. Now, granted, she's trying to remember something all the way back from the 1970s, so the dates may not be correct. Judith Huth, who accused the embattled comedian of groping her as a teenager in the Playboy Mansion, originally filed a suit in 2014. That suit was denied in 2015 after Cosby was arrested in Pennsylvania on sex crime charges. Huth has waited nearly a decade to have her day in court against Cosby, whom dozens of women have accused of sexual crimes. That is insane. I'm gonna get to the comment section. Peanut Gallery, before we continue, did you want to chime in? Hold on, here we go. Someone says
I wanted to do a quick fact check. The article said delayed, not denied.
The 8th?
It said delayed, not denied.
Oh, delayed. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna read from the comment sections. Everyone's going. All the comments are going. So give me a second.
I'm gonna let you read the comment section, and then I'm gonna run in through a documentary that was recently
about this case,
about the Playboy Mansion and how things went on back then.
Okay, so give me 1 second. So Joe's Natural Oasis says, I'm always disgusted with how many girls were and these grown men and still are in the industry, such as Aaliyah. Yeah, like I know that the Playboy Mansion was probably all kinds of nefarious in the 70s, and kids all probably jumped the fence to sneak in there to see their favorite artist or just to get into the grotto, right? But at the same, hold on 1 second. But at the same time, like these grown adults who were just letting, because there's so many stories of kids sneaking into the Playboy Mansion in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. But these grown adults just drunk out of their mind, high out of their mind, not catching these young tweens all up and through this place. And it seems like everyone's trying to get their retribution for sneaking into the Playboy Mansion in the 2020s. You understand what I mean? Like, what was going on in the 1970s that we just let these people just, what was going on in the 1970s? It's insane. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, no, it's fine. I just want to point something out to somebody said in the comments. Let's be clear. We cannot go around here and talking about, what were they doing there at 16? Why did they wait so long? Like we don't
know.
Treat accusers like crap.
Yeah, we don't.
Like we don't not believe them when they say this happened to me. Like even to this day, people are like saying talking a mess about Keke Palmer accusing Trey Songz of doing what he did. And I believe that he did what he did.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. But let's not act like let's not act like y'all believe accusers when they come out. I just wanted to say that. We're not going to do that.
Because what people don't quite understand is that Me Too movement is supposed to teach us to believe the victims and then investigate, not just be be the judge, jury, and executioner when someone comes with a credible claim. That's what the problem with the police and detectives are. When someone comes in with a claim, they're just like, I don't believe it, so I'm not going to investigate it. You don't get that choice. You have to believe the victim and then you investigate. And if no evidence shows up, it doesn't necessarily mean that the victim is lying. It simply means that there's no evidence. But if evidence comes out that the victim was lying, well, it doesn't matter because you fully investigated the claim. And then now you can do something about people coming forward lying about these allegations, or then the evidence presents that the person is telling the truth. So that's the problem. We're having this problem today on TikTok.
Yep.
If you don't follow that Palesia story, take heed that there are people who are on this app who hashtagged Me Too'd and then wash their hands of it. Like, okay, so you either believe in the Me Too movement or you don't. You either believe in the Me Too movement or you don't. You either believe victims first and then you investigate, or you don't. Or we just go back to yesterday's news. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm fully following what you're saying as far as believing the victim and investigating.
Yes.
No problem there. What my problem is when this stuff happened in the 1970s. And I don't want it to sound like I'm saying, well, why you take so long to say something? That's not the point. The point that I have, or the problem I have, is like the lady that started up the stuff with Bill Cosby that had him in jail. She was in the situation, and that stuff happened. We'll just say 1970. Okay, that stuff happened then. Whatever happened, it was some money changed hands between him and his people and her. She was quiet for X amount of time. Then she came back out and said he did it and pressed charges. Now my issue is when if money changes hands and you take the money, I'm kind of at a point where it's like either you're gonna take the money and be quiet, or you gonna go ahead and say this person did X, Y, and Z to me. I don't think that is fair. Not defending the person that did wrong, but you get the money and you get to say he did something wrong to me. You took the money for X all these years and shut up, and now you come back out in the 2000s like, oh, he tricked me and I fell, but he gave me $72 million when I fell. But you coming back out again and say it again. That's where I'm having the problem.
Well, the thing about it is that when people take quote unquote hush money, because that's what it sounds like, right? When people take hush money, it depends on the nature of how the money was given. If you're given hush money and you feel like it's a moment of duress, like they're pressuring you to take it, then you take it. Because then again, you're just like, okay, I'll take this money and maybe they'll just leave me alone, but he really did it, and then maybe a time comes like the Me Too movement and you just feel galvanized, like, no, I took that money, but I shouldn't have. I really feel like I want to explain what happened to me. So that's the situation that you could be in. You can't tell people not to take the money, but at the same time, though, we don't know at what level of pressure she was under to take it. That happens all the time. There's nothing new. We talked about that yesterday with that NFL player who was paying those masseuses for happy endings. And the masseuses came forward because, again, they probably felt like, wait a minute, I don't think this is what it should have been. And I feel like I was coerced into it. One, it was for money. And two, I had signed an NDA, and I don't think I need to sign an NDA as a masseuse. All I'm simply doing is just massaging your joints. So being that I've never in my entire life been in a situation where hush money was given to me, nor did I have to sign an NDA or be under the guise of a gag order, I can't tell you why someone would take hush money. All I can do is speculate as to here are the circumstances at which someone would take hush money, right? Under duress, coercion, all kinds of things,
Yeah, so now I'm going to explain something to you about how they used to run the Playboy Mansion back in the day, because I watched this documentary. So they were talking about this bodyguard was telling he was spilling the tea on how they used to run the Playboy Mansion back in the day. So basically, they used to run it I hate to say this word, basically kind of like a whorehouse, but they had their own government on how they ran it. And so any issues that they had within the house, the 4 bodyguards that they had handled it. So if men roughed up women, the 4 bodyguards would run, beat up the men. Or if celebrities came within the house, roughed up women, the celebrities would have to pay the women out and then be banned from the house.
Okay.
So there were a lot of celebrities that were actually banned from the house.
Yeah. It sounds like a nightmare. Okay. It sounds like
it is
a nightmare.
And he had no way, and Hugh Hefner had no way of vetting women in his house, because at one point in time there were over the bodyguard said there was over 150 women living within the quarters of the house. So he had really no way of vetting who lived in the house and how old they were, because when women came
So
there,
the question is, why keep get them out? Just get everyone out the house, and then start the vetting process. You know, that makes no sense. There's no excuse. He owned the house. It's not like it was just a random house on the top of a hill in Beverly Hills. It was, he owned it. If you didn't know who was living there, kick everyone out and start the vetting process from the beginning. You know, there's no clean house, right?
well, that's what
Sweet
I'm
like
just
honey.
telling the story.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Like if you actually, I can't remember the name of the documentary, but he actually, like, the guy actually explained the story about how, like, how crazy things were within that house.
Yeah.
And like how like Hugh Hefner had it to where, like, women would go hang out with men, like these young girls would go hang out with men, and then it was like they wouldn't be like till later on they would find out, like, oh, wait a minute, that girl was like actually like 15, and he'd be like, wait a minute, how was that girl 15 and she was living here in the house?
Yeah. Yeah, but still, that's a terrible system. Hugh Hefner, he probably took a lot of that shit to his grave. But the show, you guys, listen, this was a long-winded discussion about a lot of stuff, right? We talked about Shantae and her husband Tracie Ellis Ross and her mama Nate trifling ways. Malaysia and her best friend who we care about, but not enough, honey. Not enough to give them more than 10 minutes of our goddamn time. And Bill Cosby and his allegations that are just never ending. And Gary with the T with his how he truly feels about Tracie Ellis Ross. So that's the end of the show. I want to see, does anybody have any final words from our co-hosts tonight? I just want to first thank all of you first. Eamon, Dr. Diaz, Shonda. I don't know what your name. I think it's Mrs. Bex, Trey, and Bonsai. Did anybody have any final words before we get out of here tonight?
Yes. Also,
the show.
Oh, okay.
What was that?
No, what I was gonna say is that also Bailey Sarian actually lightly touches the topic in relation to a true crime story on YouTube.
Okay.
And basically, they had girls that were regular centerfolds in the house, like they were regulars there, and they had them on a strict, crazy regimen for them to live, and they were barely paying them too. It's crazy. So Bailey Sarian actually touches on that.
Okay.
Just look it up, Playboy, Bailey Sarian, you'll find it.
Okay, I sure will, and thank you very much. Did anyone else have any final thoughts before we leave the show?
I'll just get a little messy here and say that when I was 15, 16 years old, I modified my identification, and my friends and I would sneak into bars. So at 15, 16 years old.
Oh wow!
And the drinking age back then was 18. You could be 18 and drink.
Oh wow!
So that's why, like, today, like, you look at it from a different perspective. But we were like 15, 16 sneaking into the bar.
Okay, so it does make kind of does make some sense, right?
A little bit for that era. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Never excuses any of the other stuff, any of the essay or anything like that. Obviously, I was lucky, but I'm sure that when I walked into a bar with my little girlfriends, we were probably like, like fresh meat kind of thing, and
yes,
kind of an interesting. So just to get a little messy, because we like a little messiness right before we close. So
no problem. But thank you guys. Thank you, Dr. Diaz, for telling us how you was being trifling at 15 years old in New York City, honey. But thank you guys for being on the show. Thank you to the Nosy Bystanders. Every night we do this at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. You're gonna catch this show this entire week from this page, Stephanie Hall. So just go ahead and make sure you follow it. And we're live on the Voices app, YouTube, and TikTok. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good night, okay? Everybody, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.